Your Majesties, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for always returning. Trust you and yours are well, and you are loving yourself and others. Like always, many thanks to all of you for the support you give to the channel. Thank you so much to our channel members, our anonymous supporters, to all of you, my esteemed subscribers. You are loved, celebrated, and appreciated always. So today, I want us to do some little talking about Israel. Yeah, the place you know as Israel today. And a lot of us feel like is an outer part because of course that's what they want you to believe in the maps. Oh, it's not in Africa, it's not part of Africa, and then they make us feel like nothing good can come out of us, nothing good can come out of our land, nothing good can come out of who we are as a person. So who were the original inhabitants of the present day Israel, of Palestine? Who were the original inhabitants? Mind you, I've done a video about this before now. For some of you who've been here for some time, I've done a video about um, who really were there before the Palestinians, those you know as Palestinians today. Now, that very part was invaded by the Arabs, the Ottomans. They controlled that region for some time. Now, before the Ottomans took control of that very part, there were people inhabiting that land. There were people there. Now, before they messed up with the maps, all right, because when you look at the maps these days, Africa seems to be so small, and this should be the continent that's the largest. Now, why does this look so small in the maps? All this, with all these evidences, and you still get Africans who come out and defend this so-called colonizers, and they tell you they mean well for Africa. Colonization have helped Africa develop, and you be like, oh my word, we have a lot of work to still do as the melanated people. Now, like I was saying, there were people there before the Ottoman took over that region. And when they took over that region, they displaced those people and inhabited that place. And after many years, this present day Israel now came in. Whether you take it or leave it, whatever you see written in the books, in the holy books, are not, or whatever was written there about a people called the Israelites, is not about those who are there today as the Israelis. Because they themselves know this, and that's why they call themselves the Israelis. They do not say they're Israelites. They say they are Israelis. So, while this whole Israel-Palestinian war started, that was when I made the other video, and I was like, both of you don't even own the land, and you're fighting for it. Mind you, I'm not in support of what the Israelis are doing to the Palestinians right now. But when you talk about history, both of you are not the owner of that place. There were people there before the Ottomans took over, before they captured that very place. So I want to take you to something here. So we look into this and we take it up from there.
Using some of the works of Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop, the late great Dr. Diop, the Ghanaian researchers, the late J.B. Dankwa. The late J.B. Dankwa, he in his book, The Arkans, page 8, he showed that the Arkans came from the Great Lakes area, which is called Kush, and they migrated into the Nile Valley. We have Kwajo Asante. He also talks about the Ashanti coming out of Egypt. Then we have Charles Mamata of the Airways, showing that the Airways were in Israel. We have also the works showing that the Ga Adambe were in ancient Canaan or Israel. Now, when you take a look at this map, it goes back about 6,000 years ago. And if we look, you find that the Arkans, Ewe, Ga Adambe, and the Dagomba. But there's evidence to show here that the Airways were in northern Syria. There's a town in northern Syria today called Keta. and Haiti. There's a pharaoh that we know that carries the airway name in antiquity of this particular region. His name, by the Greeks, they call him Amenophis, but the airway name is Amenepo, and that was in around 1700s before Christ. And you see the migration here. When Egypt fell in 525 BC, where did the ancient Egyptians go? They fled southward, and they knew about the interior of Africa because that's where they came from. The first empire after the fall of ancient Egypt, we witnessed Old Ghana as early as 50 BC. The Romans under General Septimus Flaccus in 50 BC under Caesar's request was trying to search for the Niger Basin. They found Old Ghana. Old Ghana reigned from 50 BC to 1076 AD. Some of the ethnic groups that were in Old Ghana were the Arkans, were the Ga-Dambe, were the Airways. Now, there were Yorubas and Nigerian groups there, but for this particular purpose I'm illustrating, I won't mention those groups, but they were there. Then after Old Ghana was burned to the ground in 1076 AD, let me highlight, the Black Moors that history has written about that brought the Europeans out of darkness in 711 AD. They came out of the Renaissance in the empire of Old Ghana, marching into southern Europe, Spain, Portugal, and France, occupying that area. But the Arabs came after the Black Moors and became the real benefactors of the good works that the Black Moors did in that area. So after Old Ghana fell, our forebears went deeper toward the south, and they established Old Mali. That was in 1230 AD until about 1390. The Moroccans, Arabs, and Europeans came again out of jealousy, burned Timbuktu and Old Mali Empire to ground. Then from there, our forebears went deeper and they established Songhai from 1464 to 1592. The capital city was Djenné. One of the oldest mosques in the world was in the black world at that time was housed in this particular area. The Arabs came again through Morocco and with the Europeans with rifles and muskets, and they burned it to the ground. So from there, our forebears fled deep into the forest, and it was from there we began to set up Iliefe, Oyo, Dahomey, Ashanti kingdoms, getting into the area of about the 17th.
Oh, Your Majesties, you heard that, and this is more evidence coming out again because, of course, I think I brought teachings of the Ghanaian rabbi here, right? Rabbi Akutiama. I've brought some of his teachings here, and it's similar to what is being taught today. So, when you talk about the melanated people, pardon me, I have to use the melanated. When you talk about the melanated people civilizing Europe, it sounds to some Africans like, why will you say Africans civilize Europe? Let's be realistic. Why would you say that? because we've looked at ourselves as people that nothing good can come out of. We look at ourselves as people who never had a civilization. But these same Europeans came down to Kemet, came down to ancient Nubia and studied. They came and learned from the knees of our foreparents, of our ancestors. So, to what we were saying, there were people who were originals to the land today called the Palestine. There were people who were originals to the Palestine area. Now, these people were displaced because, of course, the Arabs were into everything around that time. They were going everywhere, capturing people. When you talk about the Arab slave trade, some people want to cover up. Okay, no, they want to give you reason why this is what they did, but it was very deadly. Because they don't just only do what the Europeans did, they go further. Like I was saying in a video, they castrate our men, they castrate our ancient fathers, and taking our mothers as wives. And gradually they started wiping out the color of both the Egyptians, of Egypt, of Morocco, and of most of the countries around the northern part of the continent of Africa. Because of course you castrate the men, you are that is, you are wiping out, even you're just wiping out the lineage of that very country. When you look at the northern part of Africa, they are predominantly Arabs. And they'll come out and tell you, oh, we're not Africans, we're not Africans. I don't really blame them. I've been saying it because, of course, yeah, it's the other blood in them that is speaking. So that is it. This is what they did to the northern part of the continent. So they started displacing people, inhabiting the land. This is the colonizers' mindset. They go to a place, pull out the people that are there, and they capture the place. This is what they did to us around the world, because we were all around the world. The melanated people were the inhabitants of the world. Now they comes in, do what they can do, deceive people. Of course, they come in through deception. This is it. The colonizers, the Europeans, the Arabs, they came in through deception, and gradually they show their true colors. And for them to have a stand or a ground, they try to initiate the people into the religion, the beliefs that they are coming in with. Because of course, when you believe in what I believe, you have to do what I do. And this is how our people were captured. This is how our lands were stolen. And today, there are places you cannot even call Africa, because when you do that, people are going to laugh at you and be like, oh, do you know your geography at all? What do you think, Your Majesties? I just felt like sharing this with you today. Leave your comment or thought there in the section, and I'll see you in my next one. Until then, love yourself, love others, stay safe, stay positive always, Your Majesties. Bye for now.